Society is trying to keep you distracted so you never wake up. You ever notice that the more time you spend on your phone, the more time you spend endlessly scrolling, the more scattered your mind feels. Like it's just a million defragmented pieces all over the place. You're not just distracted, you're completely and utterly divided, being pulled in every different direction possible. Angry at things that you didn't even care about earlier today or yesterday. Stressed about people you've never met, celebrities, politics, bullshit, absolute bullshit. Reacting to problems you can't even control that you couldn't care less about most of the times. And you think that that's normal, but it's not. You're being trained to live like this. Social media doesn't just show you things, it feeds you things. It's almost like it's hijacking your mind. And what it feeds you the most is emotion. Not truth, not clarity, raw, unfiltered emotion. Because emotion keeps you engaged. And the strongest emotion that there is, fear. The one that you can be easily manipulated with. Anger, division. Just think about it. What spreads the fastest? What becomes viral? Is it calm and balanced thinking? Or absolute outrage? Market manipulation, political ideology, woke versus non-woke, black versus white, it doesn't matter. Anything that's outrage. And what keeps you scrolling longer? Peace? No. Or conflict. So over time, you start to not even realize what's going on. And your mind starts to live in this state. Always reacting, always choosing sides, always being pulled into something. And the more distracted you are, the less aware you become. That's the real trap. That's the trap. Not that you're looking on your phone, not that you stopped looking at yourself, that you stopped looking inward. Because when you actually slow down, when things get quiet, you start asking the real questions, and that scares the hell out of everyone else. Who am I? What is it that I actually believe? Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel these emotions? And that's when things start to change. But distraction will keep you from ever getting to that point. And it gets even deeper. But this isn't new whatsoever. This pattern has always existed. If you look at ancient teachings, ancient religions, ancient texts, different cultures throughout different times of human existence, they all point to something very, very simple. Fear controls people, but love connects them. Every one of them, every single thing in their own way says the same thing. You can call it God, you can call it energy, spirit, consciousness, but the message is always similar. We are all connected. And when people are connected, they're harder to control. So what breaks this connection? Division, fear, distraction. They want you arguing. The ruling class, whatever you want to see, the oligarchs, society, the billionaires, the archons, whatever you want to call this, they get you comparing to each other. They get you reacting. And they never stop long enough. When you're doing this, you never stop long enough to see the big picture. People don't see each other for being people anymore. You're just a number, or you're just a figment, or you're just a thing. They just see sides. Left versus right, black versus white. It doesn't matter. And what this does, they don't even need control anymore. Because you're cattle now and you're controlling yourselves for them. That is the part that most people miss. Nobody has to force you. Your mind has already been conditioned to react. And you see it every single day. You know, people fighting in comments, rage baiting, arguing over things that they didn't even research. The Dunning-Kruger effect. Everyone thinking that they're so smart when they have absolutely no idea what the fuck they're talking about. Taking things personally that have absolutely nothing to do with them. All the while their real life, their real peace, their real direction gets pushed further and further away from themselves. That's the cost. That is the price that you pay for constant reaction, constant distraction from things that you should not even be involved in. Now, I'm not saying to delete everything. And I'm not saying to run away from the world at all. Hell no, you stand your ground. You fight the system. That's what I do. That's why I make these videos. But you need to understand what you're reacting with. Because if you don't, it will shape you without you even realizing it. And once you see this, you start moving differently. You don't react to everything anymore. You don't get pulled into every single argument, whether it's your friends, your family, your coworkers, your spouse. It doesn't matter. You don't let your attention get stolen all day. You don't let them take your peace. You start protecting your peace. And when you protect your peace, your mind clears. And when your mind clears, you start thinking for yourself again. You start critically thinking like we were meant to. That's when things change. Not because the world changed, but because you did. And once you see through the noise, through the bullshit, it's almost impossible to go. It's actually impossible to go back the same way. You can't. Because once you see this, once you realize most of what's being pushed in front of you is just a bunch of noise, and it isn't there to help you grow, that it's there to keep you busy, to keep you distracted, to keep you tired, to keep you reacting, so that you never stop. So that you never see through the matrix, through the void. You never see the archons for what they are. You never see the puppeteer, and that you're the puppet being pulled with strings, with all of your emotions being the ties that bind you. And you don't realize what actually matters anymore. It's time to wake up. It's time to fight back. Don't let these people manipulate you.